You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
Who y'all think y'all frontin' on? Don't act like you forgot.
Hello babes, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video we are going to be speaking about one of my favorite movie characters, and that is Elle Woods. So let's get into it.
Elle Woods, welcome to Harvard.
First off, you know we have to start with the iconic fashion that is worn in Legally Blonde by the iconic Miss Elle Woods. What makes this wardrobe so special is how it was unapologetically girly. It was super pink and empowering for the girls who loved that world. She dressed in skirts and dresses, wore sparkles and furs. While Elle's wardrobe was elegant, it was also playful and vibrant and matched her personality perfectly. So Elle has a cool undertone, so deeper, fully saturated pinks complemented her skin tone well and didn't wash her out, which throughout the movie she wears colors more so on the cooler spectrum. She knew which colors, patterns, and what clothes complemented her figure best. Elle's fashion wasn't boring and stuffy. Although she liked some classic styles, she was very playful and flirty in her wardrobe. And although she's known most for her iconic pink looks, and pink is her signature color, she also wore other colors, styles, and patterns, like her first day of Harvard, which is a favorite of mine, her black and white skirt suit look when she started her first day of interning for Callahan. It's so sophisticated yet lively. She added ruffles and a slip that peeks from underneath the skirt, as well as the silk tie attached to her briefcase. And the entire outfit is Celine. I just love when movies match the wardrobe to the character. It just makes the story more interesting, and it allows for costume designers to tell a story through their character and opens doors for them as well to work on other sets. The film's costume designer, Sophie D. Rakoff, became fast friends with Witherspoon on the set, bonding over the legendary Dolly Parton. It was simple, we just liked each other and geeked out on Dolly, Sophie said. The dominant color palette for Elle's outfits in the film is pink. The backstory is, Reese and I, and maybe the production designers, went to visit some sororities in downtown Los Angeles. We knew that she needed a signature color, and we were like, do we really want it to be pink? It's so on the nose, it's so feminine. Could we do lavender? Could we do light blue? Is there another color that we can do? When we met all of the sorority girls, it had to be pink. And that I just completely agree with. Pink was the perfect choice for them to choose. And I'm not saying this as someone that's biased to the color pink, but I just think it fit her perfectly. Lavender, I think, wouldn't have made her stand out as much, nor baby blue. Pink was definitely the perfect color for Elle to wear in this movie. Now let's get into the iconic cult classic that is Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde is the ultimate feminine women empowerment film. It showcased how a woman could be beautiful, well-dressed, feminine, girly, and still be intelligent and determined to pull off the most difficult tasks and things thrown at them in life. Unlike most movies that always showcases the hyper-feminine girl and women as the villain, mean girl, or airhead, this movie showcased the opposite, and it showed strength in a woman being in tune with her feminine self, and how although others may not take you seriously, with dedication and determination, you have the ability to do whatever you put your mind to. If you aren't familiar with Legally Blonde, it is about a fashion merchandising student and sorority girl, Elle Woods, who comes from a wealthy family and believes she will be proposed to by equally wealthy boyfriend who has just had dinner with his grandmother, the matriarch of the family. However, Elle soon finds out that Warner is breaking up with her as he is intending on going to Harvard Law School and wants to become a successful senator. But he believes in order to be taken serious, he must break off his relationship with Elle, who he sees as a trophy wife and doesn't believe she is capable of becoming serious.
I'm running for office someday.
And I fully support that, Warner. You know that, right?
Absolutely. But the thing is, if I'm gonna be a senator by the time I'm 30, I need to stop dicking around.
You're breaking up with me? I thought you were proposing.
Proposing? Elle, if I'm gonna be a senator, well, I need to marry a Jackie, not a Marilyn.
So you're breaking up with me because I'm too blonde?
However, Elle believes she can win Warner back if she shows herself capable of achieving the same things. After months of studying, Elle scores a 179 on the LSAT and combined with her 4.0 GPA is accepted to Harvard Law School.
179!
Amanda Brown published Legally Blonde in 2001 based on her real-life experiences as a blonde at Stanford Law School while being obsessed with fashion and beauty. Brown said that when she first arrived at Stanford, she discovered she had made a big mistake. I was in my first week of law school in 1993 and I saw this flyer for the Women of Stanford Law. So I was like, I'll go and meet some nice girls, whatever. I went to the meeting and these were not women. These were really angry people. The woman who was leading it spent 3 years at Stanford trying to change the name Semester to Ovester. I started laughing and I realized everyone in the room took it very seriously. So I didn't make any friends there.
Take the word semester, okay? This is a perfect example of this school's discriminatory preference of semen to ovaries. That's why I'm petitioning to have next term be referred to as the winter ovester.
Excuse me.
This movie is so empowering for women. It showcased sisterhood and how much stronger we are when we stick together. When Elle decided she wanted to go to Harvard, her sorority sister supported her through the entire process, studying with her, showing that when women come together, we're a force to be reckoned with. I just love the sisterhood and bond these women have throughout the movie because women aren't always in competition with one another, except for Vivian, who we'll talk about in a bit. It also shows that when you want something bad enough, you'll go after it. Although Elle attended Harvard in hopes to get Warner back, once she determined that she was never going to be good enough for him, she was determined to prove him wrong while also figuring out the career path she wanted to take. So his rejection was a blessing for her. She found out exactly what kind of man he was, which was protection for her, because had she been engaged to a man who thought that low of her, who's to say how their marriage would have ended or how long they would have stayed together? Many women try to change for a man or mold themselves to what a man wants and end up losing themselves. Elle may have gone to Harvard to get Warner back, but she didn't alter herself for him. She remained who she was. Can we also talk about how in all of her classes, everyone has a black computer or silver, while Elle stands out and has an orange Mac laptop? Ugh, I love her. What made this movie different from other movies was how sisterhood was shown, which I've spoken about a little bit. Like how all of the ladies went around signing a card for Elle, congratulating Elle on her potential engagement because of the genuine love they had for each other. The way they poured into Elle when she was heartbroken and to get her out of her rut, how they showed up for her at court, to support her in her first time fighting a case. They were always happy for each other. They never belittled one another. There wasn't any malice or jealousy between them. It was just a true sisterhood and friendship amongst the girls. It just always stood out to me because a lot of female friendships are not friendships, but more so out of convenience and how you've been friends with each other just because you've known each other for years, and sometimes you've grown apart but you still remain friends because you're so familiar with one another. But I feel like you have to genuinely love your friend like family. You should be able to trust each other and pick one another up when you're down and not be in constant competition or battles with one another, but a good healthy friendship. Now let's get into the jealousy and stereotypes people placed on Elle simply because she was beautiful and into fashion. The lady at the shop who believed Elle was an airhead trust fund baby who she could get over on, but didn't realize her judgment was wrong and Elle was actually smarter than she thought she was. And
There's nothing I love more than a dumb blonde with daddy's plastic.
I know, he gets excited when
Did you see this one? We just got it in yesterday.
Oh, is this low viscosity rayon?
Yes, of course.
With a half loop top stitching on the hem?
Absolutely. It's one of a kind.
Impossible to use a half loop top stitching on low viscosity rayon. It would snag the fabric. And you didn't just get it in. I saw it in the June Vogue a year ago. So if you're trying to sell it to me for full price, you picked the wrong girl.
And this girl right here, Enid, I believe her name was, my God, was she insufferable. She's one of those people who are constantly offended, upset, and looking for a reason to be mad at any and everyone. She didn't even know Elle and passed judgment on her, the same judgment she didn't want to be passed on her. Girl, like the projection with this one irritated the hell out of me. Like, what are you so mad for, sis? And assuming that someone would call you out of your name and then mimicking how she spoke. Like, girl, is everything okay?
Maybe there's like a sorority you could like join instead, like
You know, if you had come to a rush party, I would have at least been nice to you.
Oh, is that before you voted against me and then called me a dyke behind my back?
I don't use that word.
Yet, if she mimicked you, it would be an issue. I truly can't stand people like this because they are constantly projecting and making themselves victims when most of the time they are bullies and have unresolved issues within themselves. Every single clip where she's next to Elle or she speaks, she's rolling her eyes at Elle. Just a haunted soul, honey. Next, we have this young woman, Miss Vivian, who was deeply insecure for a few reasons. One being that Elle was beautiful and vibrant. Two being that the only reason why she had Warner was because she was acceptable to bring home to his family, not because she was special and the love of his life, which is why she felt so threatened by Elle, because although she had Warner now, regardless of how much of an ass he was to Elle had his heart before her. He didn't even claim her in front of Elle. She had to make herself known and explain who she was.
Have you met Vivian?
Kensington? Do you know her?
She's,
I'm his fiance. Warner told me all about you. You're famous at our club.
She was so mean and cruel to Elle, as if Elle did something to her but exists. You would think Elle would be the one with malice in her heart, but instead it was this pick-me who thought because she was more conservative that she was better than Elle.
Hi, everybody.
Elle, what are you doing here?
I've come to join your study group. And look, I brought sustenance. Who's first? Our group is full. Is this like an RSVP thing?
No, it's like a smart people thing. And as Viv said, we're full.
Come on, guys, we can make room for one more. Ow.
We've already assigned the outlines. The answer is no.
However, you were chosen only for image, not out of love, sweetheart. I don't understand why Elle even forgave her. She was too nice, especially when this basic heifer didn't even apologize, and as soon as that situation took place with Callahan, she accused Elle of sleeping with him rather than hearing what actually took place and seeing if Elle was okay.
You almost had me fooled. What? Well, maybe you should sleep with the jury too, then we can win the case.
She wasn't about supporting women because she actually hated other women, specifically women who didn't have the same beliefs and interests as her. I truly despise this character, if you guys can't tell. She kinda reminds me of Rory Gilmore with some of her thinking, like how Rory called women sluts who didn't act like her or were into shopping in their looks and thought she was better than them, which I'll be doing a video on her too. But moving along, I know so many women out here like her who look down on other women and think that women who are beautiful are dumb, and they have this disdain and hate for women who are beautiful and will go out of their way to make them feel uncomfortable, bully them, make disgusting comments, spread rumors about them, and try to ruin them because they're so envious, vile, and it consumes them. And a lot of times they are male identified, just like some men who always make disgusting comments about beautiful women and say they believe they're all that because they aren't on their level. All in all, this is one of those films that is filled with lessons and empowering for women, and how important sisterhood is and how rejection can lead you to the biggest blessings in your life. Elle going to Harvard for Warner turned out to be something she loved and went on to become a lawyer. She found a man who loved her for who she was and went on to get engaged, and also to not make judgments at people without knowing them. Being beautiful doesn't make someone an airhead or dense. Why does one cancel out the other? One thing I didn't like is how they made people from the East Coast seem as though they were dull and don't know how to have fun. I would have made friends with Elle the moment I saw her, because she wasn't only fashionable, but because she was such a sweetheart who wanted the best for people. I just love those type of qualities in people. I also wanted to mention how her parents aren't really supportive of her decision and believe into this superficial thinking that only boring and ugly people attend Harvard Law School, which is so untrue and it was so false. However, her friends were really supportive. Proves that sometimes your family isn't as supportive as your friends or even strangers. Some strangers will uplift you more than your own family will. I will always love Reese for this movie because it was just so inspiring, and it also inspired so many girls who identified with this character to go to law school. Oh, and one more thing, Elle's hair was constantly on point in this movie.
The rules of hair care are simple and finite. Any Cosmo girl would have known.
That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making this video. I absolutely loved making this video because Legally Blonde is one of my favorite movies. It is a constant repeat for me. If I'm feeling down, if I'm not in the mood, in a bad mood, it's one of those movies that always lifts my spirits. Let me know below what are some of your favorite Elle quotes or favorite parts of this movie, favorite scenes. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.